around the world miss out on their childhood as a result of poverty. I believe this topic is important because no child should ever have to worry about financial needs or continuing their education. I chose this topic because I want to inform others on the importance of helping children in need. Today I will inform you on the importance of children living in poverty and how to help. Children living in poverty do not have the available resources needed to live healthy and continuing their education. Children living in poverty are also unable to afford higher level education, leading to an increase in dropout rates. According to the Child Help website Access on March 28th, the United States has one of the worst records among industrialized nations, losing on average between 4 or 7 children every day to child abuse and neglect. According to the Child Welfare Information Gateway on the Child Welfare website, Access on March 28th, hospital costs for medical treatment of injuries sustained as a result of physical abuse and foster care costs resulting from the removal of children when they cannot remain safely with their families. All impacts our society and economy. In a society, poverty is a very dangerous factor that can destabilize an entire country. This affects everyone because poverty is a major cause of social tension and threatens to divide a nation because of the issue of inequalities. According to Maslow, this problem would be psychological. Now that I have covered how poverty affects children, we will move on to the solutions. There are multiple solutions that will help children living in poverty. The most important solution is to begin with helping to spread awareness and inform others on how to help charities and organizations that support children and their families in poverty. Investing in more programs is a solution that can be achieved by reaching out to top companies around the world and requesting donations to help obtain enough resources for programs to provide children with what they need. This will result in creating charities and informing others on how to donate. It will also provide more support for working families to make sure children's basic needs are met. More than 16 million children in the United States, 22% of all children, live in families with incomes below the federal poverty level. This statistic is taken from our neighborhoods and communities around us. This solution will provide children with what they need and lower the rate of dropouts. This solution fits the problem addressed earlier about children in poverty not being able to afford higher level education. Addressing this problem will result in more children continuing their education. Children living in poverty will have more available resources and opportunities to help guide them throughout their life. Centrally located community centers have begun helping child poverty by providing resources, programs, and services that allow to reduce the burden of poverty on children. According to Children International, on the website children.org, access on March 28th, in 2014, 82% of total expenses collected from the organization went to support the programs and activities that directly affect sponsored children. Statistics like these help show that it is possible for anyone to either donate or spread the word about organizations that help to provide resources to children in need. Organizations like Save the Children help to provide resources such as preparing children to succeed in school, and the organization also helps train and equip frontline health workers to deliver care in some of the world's most challenging places. Now that I have covered how the solutions will help children living in poverty, we will move on to the benefits and consequences.
I'm going to be speaking about the benefits and consequences of child poverty. If we don't stop now, it will be too late in the future. Create a child development center. One of the best ways to impact a poor child's life is to improve the community in which they live in and empower residents to make changes if possible. Research shows it's clear that child poverty is the single greatest threat to children, as we know 45% of children in the U.S. live in low-income families. With a development center, all that should decrease. With this development center, the percentage of children in poverty will decrease by us increasing the knowledge and giving them something to believe in. There will be a lot of consequences if the plan is not followed. Children will not get the right protection, health, education, nutrition, material aid, youth development, youth employability, and they will not get the right community support. They will also be exposed to physical abuse, neglect, alcohol, and drugs maltreatment. Social services worldwide report that the problem concerns more than 3/4 of the families that live in the U.S. today. In conclusion, we have covered the effects of children living in poverty. The main points was poor academic achievement, low resources for working families. Our call to action is now that we have spoken to you guys about child poverty, it's very important to take an action and help any child that's in need. And if you want to donate, there's charities online that you can visit and donate as a group. Visit Save the Children that are urged to donate today. We need to provide all the important materials to kids in poverty and the right support. We spoke about children living in poverty, the solutions and benefits and consequences. I hope you all learned something very important today. It's important to understand the number of children found to be living in poverty today falls to 13.4 million. We're just taking actions, the numbers should drop. Again, thanks Michelle and myself.